Meet the Hyundai INSTER. More on the name later. I don't like it. But I do like the fact that this car is cute and it's going to be affordable. I'm going to tell you all about it. I am Ginny Buckley and you are watching Electrifying. But before we get started, if you aren't already, please do subscribe to the channel and importantly, turn your notifications on. We've been waiting ages for affordable electric cars, haven't we? Absolutely ages. Every time a car launch came into the office, no, it's still not affordable. No, that's not affordable either. But just like buses, they all come along at once. You've had the Dacia Spring, the Citroen EC3, and this, the INSTER. So let's talk about the name. It has obviously been named with the Gen Z audience that Hyundai want to attract with this car in mind. Only nobody told them that if they want to do that, they should have called it the Snapchat or the TikTok, because sadly it's only old people like me that use Instagram these days. Oh well. So the INSTER is based on a small city car called the Casper, which Hyundai sells in Korea. In my opinion, I think Casper might have been a better name to stick with. When we heard that Casper was coming, we were already excited because we love the name. But we are where we are, and I'm sure we'll get used to it. Anyway, that car, the Casper, is built in Korea in a factory that was built in a joint venture with one of the local provinces. Now, this has helped Hyundai to reduce the costs and produce smaller cars less expensively. So this is an electric version of that car. It will be built in the same factory, and it will go on sale for around the same price as the Citroen EC3 when it hits the UK later this year. So let's have a look at what you get for your money, and I'm going to refer to my notes here. Size-wise, it's what we call an A segment car, which is basically the smallest kind of car that you can get. So it's about the same size as a Dacia Spring, little bit smaller than the Citroen EC3. It's actually just over 20 centimetres longer than the Casper, the car that it's based on, which makes it really pretty much the same size as a car from a class above, and that is a really good thing, because if a car is a little larger, it also makes it more stable. So, what do you think of how it looks? I actually really like it. When I first walked in here, it made me smile, because I think it's got a really kind of smiley, happy face. I love the fact that there is a nod to this is an ionic car with those pixels. So the pixels that you can see there on the front are the LED turning signals. There's also pixels a bit further down, if you can see they've been inspired by a computer circuit. But I think the big thing for me is those lovely round headlamps that just look like little eyes shining out at you. I think it has a really nice, friendly vibe about it. I think also quite cleverly, because it's quite tall, it's got this higher line here on the bonnet, and also you've got some curved panelling around it. It gives it a slightly chunkier, more rugged look. It looks a bit like a mini SUV, doesn't it? Which I think again adds to that feeling that this isn't just a tiny little city car. So when it comes to colours, you have a choice of 10. This one is not buttercup, but buttercream yellow. Not sure if this is going to be for me, but it is quite sweet. But some of the other colours do look really nice. There's a couple of great greens. There's a really lovely sort of vibrant orange colour that I like. And you can also go for the option of having two-tone. So you'll be able to spec a completely black roof, and I think black pillars as well, certainly at the front and back, I think. I also do really think the roof bars look great. They add to that kind of rugged feel. And again, they will be an optional extra. So I don't know, what do you think? Do you like the way it looks? Let us know in the comments below. Is it too twee and cute for you, or do you think it's just the kind of affordable car we've been waiting for? When it comes to wheels, you've got the option of 15-inch steel wheels, 15-inch alloy wheels, along with these larger 17-inch alloys. Add in the distinctive oversized round headlights and a handy central charging port. You can't deny it has a strong look. I do suspect though the INSTER may become a Marmite car that divides opinion. Now, making a small car affordable and squeezing in a big enough battery that makes sure you get a decent range is it's a challenge. But as Citroen and Dacia and now Hyundai is showing, it is possible to do it. So the Citroen comes with a 44 kilowatt hour battery, and that has a claimed range of 165 miles. But the INSTER, well, that can top that. It's got two battery options. You've got a 42 and a 49 kilowatt hour battery. No official figures yet on exactly what the ranges will be. All they're saying is that there is a target range for the 49 kilowatt hour battery of 217 miles, which I think that makes it pretty useful. You know, this is a small car. It also, incidentally, comes with a heat pump as standard right across the range. So whichever battery you go for, you're going to get one of those. So that does bode well, I think, for efficiency.
Charging times are also similar to the Citroen. You'll get from 10 to 80% within 30 minutes on a fast DC charger, whilst it's capable of 11 kilowatt AC charging.
If speed is your thing, then this probably isn't the car for you. It's pretty much in line with the Citroen EC3. 0 to 62 will take just over 11 seconds for the smaller battery. That drops to 10.6 for the bigger battery. And it tops out at around, I think, 93 miles per hour. Look, as Nick found out when she did that first drive in the EC3, these kind of speeds do not feel that punchy. You know, we are used to a lot of instant torque in electric cars, but they still are nippy enough. And don't forget that this is a car that is mainly going to be driven around towns and cities on shorter journeys. I doubt if anyone is going to do huge amounts of motorway driving in this, but even if you did, it's going to have more than enough speed for that. I just don't think it needs to be faster. And let's not forget, it's being marketed at the Gen Z, at younger drivers. So actually, I think it's quite sensible that it doesn't have speeds that are too crazy.
What it does get is loads of driver assistance tech. You're basically getting exactly the same kit you'll find across all of the EV lineup, including the much larger and more expensive Ioniq 5 and 6. Tech like forward collision avoidance assistant, lane keeping assist, blind spot monitoring, driver attention warning, a rear view monitor and smart cruise control, to name just a few. You can head over to electrifying.com for our full review, which will give you all the details if you want to find out more. I think it's pretty impressive, and whilst it's too early to know about Euro NCAP safety scores, it does bode well for that.
First impressions of the interior are good, really, really good. It doesn't seem as, I guess, as basic as some other cars that are at the more affordable end of the EV market. In fact, you've got so much of the technology here and things like the new steering wheel that you find in the much larger and more expensive Ioniq cars. The other thing that strikes me is how big it feels in here. It does feel really spacious. You've got this slightly higher roofline, you've got loads of headroom. Just doesn't feel like a small cramped car at all. I really like the seats, so I love the way that it's a bench seat style, so that the driver's seat curves around and you've got this panel with the cup holders in. Slightly worried about the way that I like to spill my tea, that it might spoil this lovely houndstooth inspired fabric. There is also an option of black fabric in here, but it just feels very nice. You know, it feels really nice quality in here. The plastics feel nice to touch. Doesn't feel cheap in any way. I also like the fact that this lifts up, that central armrest, and you can slide along. So if you're in a slightly awkward parking space, you can just slide into the passenger seat and get out. It's just quite useful. Right, what else to tell you? Storage is, you know, there's not stacks of it, but there's enough. You've got little sort of flaps on each of the doors, both front and back. You've got two really massive cup holders in here, storage bins in there, you've got a wireless charging pad in there, and you've got all your charging points just over there. Another little tray there, which is always handy, I think, for the passenger to have somewhere to put their phone, and of course a glove box. One thing you have got, which is lovely, is either 63 or 64, and I can't remember which, different choices of ambient lighting. So we've got like a kind of bluey one in there, but you can play around in the infotainment system and really personalise what kind of lighting mood you want in here. So let's have a look at all the tech. So you've got two 10.25 inch screens. One has got all the driver information in front of you. And again, I like the way they're little illuminated circles like the headlights. So this has got all your sort of infotainment system, navigation, phone, all the EV related stuff It's a bit laggy at the minute. I'm not going to show you too much of that, but this is a really, really early prototype car. I think what's great is the fact that this comes with the brake regeneration and true one-pedal driving that you get on the bigger Ioniq cars. It's something that we know Hyundai does really well. So you've got the paddles for that here on the back of the steering wheel. You've also got the gear selector down here. Just frees up a lot more space. It's really hard to believe in here that this is based on actually what is a petrol car, because you've got none of the transmission tunnel really intruding either here in the front or in the back. They've done a brilliant job of disguising that and also of hiding the battery in here as well. Again, I also just really love the fact that you've got buttons. It's all there. It's what you need. You've got everything you could want and more in this. Yes, it will sync to CarPlay and to Android Auto. You will have to be wired in though, I think, to access both of those. It's not going to be wireless capability. At least that's my understanding. That might change. And then in terms of you know, extra kit, you've got heated seats, you get a heated steering wheel. Right down there at the bottom, you've got vehicle to load. How brilliant to have that on a car in this class. Although actually, the less expensive Dr. Spring does have that too, but it's still very good. I'm actually really impressed with the levels of equipment that you get in the Insta. I think for the money and also for the kind of car that it is, this is a really very well-spec car. It's like a TARDIS in here. Honestly, this car has got so much space. So Manos, lovely Manos behind the camera. As we know, Manos is 6'2" and is a human ruler when we're away on shoots. That seat is set for him. And I mean, look at this. Just look at it. It's ridiculous. There's loads of room. Look at the headroom. I'm only 5'4". So we had my lovely colleague from Fully Charged, Jack Scarlett, in here when we were all having a look at it earlier. I reckon Jack is 6'6", and there was still room for Manos, who's 6'2", to sit behind him, and they had loads of headroom. This is a really big car. Now you can see at the minute that it's got the bench seat style here, so you've basically got 2 seats in the back. There is going to be a 3-seater version joining the lineup. And what's quite cool about it is you can move it backwards and forwards depending on whether you want your legroom or whether you want more space in the boot, which I think is really smart. And that's not the only clever thing. So remember I said party seats? They have party seats. Okay, right. How am I going to show you this? Let's start with the first one. Okay, can you see these little bits on there, the little gubbins? Well, they're there for a reason. Look at this. So these are all aftermarket accessories that you can get from your dealer. So they're magnetic, and that, I put it on the wrong way. Did I put it on the wrong way, Manos? I did put it on the wrong way. That clicks on there, like that. I'm just bad at doing it. It's actually really quite sturdy. Look at that. You get a really nice little tray table, perfect for the kids' water bottle, perfect for popping the iPads in. Brilliant, love that. Don't want that one? Well, how about this one? You can have an umbrella, which is really important in the UK because it's been raining for the whole of the year and it's going to rain for the whole of the rest of 2024 as well. But hey, doesn't matter in this car because again, you can just click on little umbrella holder. I really like it. I think it's really quite fun. Okay, now let's go one step over there. Sorry. How about these? Wondering what they are? These are door garnishes. Have you ever heard that before? So we have little door garnishes here, and if you want, you can change those for different colours, and you can get ones like this, little see-through ones. And look, you can put pictures in them. They've provided some really nice pictures of, I think it's Korean shops. So if you want, you can put your door garnishes on. Sorry. Oh dear. You could put your door garnishes on and you could have some Korean stores. But I'm more thinking of Manos behind the camera in this, which is his little camera car, and he has his door garnishes, and in there are pictures of Ginny and Nicola and Nikki. So we are with him wherever he goes. Do you like that idea, Manos? You do like that idea. He doesn't like that idea. Anyway, there's a party trick I want to show you. Get ready for this. How cool is that?
The seats fold flat in the front. And then again, another one of my aftermarket accessories. It's a little table or it's an iPad stand. Driver's seat does the same. And the really fun thing is that these seats, of course, also fold flat, which yes is brilliant for more space in the boot, but you could actually make a completely flat area. And they're saying you could put something like a little mattress over the top and use it for, sleeping in if you were away camping. I can see a whole range of really cool aftermarket accessories springing up for this car, which I just think adds to the sense of fun that I'm getting from it.
I know on the face of it, it doesn't have perhaps the most seemingly useful boot, but bear with me. It's got a nice low load lip. Under here, it's got a good storage area hidden under there, perfect for cables. Yes, there's no frunk, and I know you've got to get your stuff out of the way even when you want to get them, but it's actually really handy because with those seats down and they fold flat, and these little helpful flaps fill the void, you can fit loads of stuff in. Like here. Oh, family life, prams, scooters. Surfboard. We all need a surfboard, don't we? Teddy bear? You don't want to know. It's like an episode of the Generation game, isn't it? And if you do remember that, please let me know in the comments below. So, should we get to the big one? The all-important price. Now, prices aren't confirmed yet. Basically, cars are so hard to price in the UK. We buy an awful lot of them on finance. And that means that the residual value, what the car is worth at the end of your finance plan, plays into what all the upfront costs will be. So it's a bit too soon for them to have worked out what those residual values will be. But we are expecting prices to be in line with those of the Citroen EC3. Now, Citroen have confirmed that car's going to cost £21,990. I would expect the entry-level version of the INSTER to be the same. That bigger batteried version with that extra range, of course, that's going to be at least a couple of £1,000s more. As Nicola said in her first drive of the Citroen EC3, and if you haven't seen that incidentally, do make sure you check it out. Just bring on cars like this. They are absolutely brilliant news. And this is fun, and it is interesting, and it's quirky, and it's got personality. INSTER, I may not love your name, but I love everything you stand for. You are a car that we've been waiting for.
If you haven't already, make sure you watch Nicola's first drive of the Citroen EC3. And please do subscribe to the channel and turn your notifications on.